I'm Taylor Stuemky. I'm the Director of Academic Services in Wyoming Athletics, and our office provides academic resources for student athletes as well as monitoring eligibility for incoming and continuing student athletes. Sure, I would say the difference, we have probably more daily interaction with our student athletes. So we see our students daily and weekly. We set up tutoring and mentoring appointments for them. And so if they need a tutor, they just come to us and then we physically set that up on an online system called Grades First. So there's constant communication and interaction. Another piece is we monitor grades on a weekly basis. And so we provide grade reports to the coaches through Wild Courses Observer. And that's another point of contact that we have. Additionally, we have to monitor NCAA continuing eligibility rules and make sure our student athletes are hitting the benchmarks every single semester and at the end of every single year. So we do advise as well, but I would say the NCAA rules is probably the biggest difference in that regard. Sure, I think maybe quarterly or even once a semester, getting together with our office, whether it's maybe coming to our staff meeting of ours or we come to a staff meeting and we learn more about updates in the college and what's going on in your realm. I think the more collaboration we can have about certain updates with, a certain degree or courses, things like that would help us tremendously. And I think that would be a really nice piece to add. So the one class that we were requiring them to take is when they're freshmen. We have a 1-credit pass-fail class. It's called Student Athlete Academic Success. We meet in the evenings once a week, and we bring a lot of guest speakers to come talk about various items. So such as yourself, you talked about time management. We have someone come and talk about finances. We do bystander intervention training. So there's lots of different pieces to that, but that's the only one class that's required of our student athletes right now. Otherwise, it's just depending on their degree program. I think learning how to balance their time management and learning how to be organized is probably the biggest challenge I see. They're required to compete or practice 20 hours a week during season. And so learning how to balance 20 hours a week of sports with 20 hours a week of academics can be challenging, especially when they're trying to fit in social life and other pieces like that of the student experience. And so I would say hands down, probably time management is the biggest challenge. They are held to NCAA standards, and essentially they have to maintain progress towards degree. And so I think that's the main difference between non-student athletes and student athletes. So the school and the team will get penalized if their student does not graduate on time. And so that's why it's so important for us to help maintain progress towards degree and make sure every single class counts. They also have to uphold a certain GPA after the end of each year. And so that also helps contribute to maintaining progress towards degree. And they also take a lot of summer school and winter session, which helps as well. I think the most important thing is just to know that they have to meet a different set of criteria along with the program that they're in. And so certain things such as if they're double majoring, they still have to maintain a certain amount of hours passed every year in a single major or combined. And so there's a lot of intricate rules regarding that. And so they can't take one minor class, one major class in one major class in another. It has to be a balance of both and making sure they hit a certain number at the end of the year. So, and another thing too is that they have to be in a minimum of 12 credit hours. So they're not allowed to be less than full time unless that's all they need to graduate. A really important piece would be if a student athlete wants to change their major, it'd be really nice to consult with our office just to make sure that that's not going to jeopardize them in any way with progress towards degree or hours past, anything with NCAA rules. Some students have gotten themselves in precarious situations changing their major without talking to us first, and we were able to fix it. But usually it's a lot easier on the front end if we can have a discussion before they change their major, and we can just make sure everything aligns numbers wise.
Yeah, go for it.
Another important thing to know is that sophomore students have to declare their major by the end of their fourth semester for NCAA rules. So if they don't have that declared before their junior year or entering their sixth semester, they will go ineligible. And so we'll have a lot of people probably coming to talk to you about major changes and career paths and things like that during their sophomore year. I think, in my opinion, I'm a people person, and so building relationships is really meaningful to me. So that's the most rewarding and gratifying experience I have, is when I have a student who I talk to after a year after they graduate, or I can keep in touch with and, be a reference for them or help them with their future endeavors after college is over with. That's just the most special part to me, is building relationships with students. And I definitely enjoy going to their competitions and supporting them in that regard as well. So definitely the people aspect.